Yeah, it's a little crooked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you might need to do that.
It's going live?
It's on live. Yeah, you might need to fix it.
Okay.
Now.
It's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
It's live right now?
It's live right now. Could you? Who's gonna be able to do this? Somebody's gonna have to do.
Okay,
this.
I can manage it from my laptop.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to make this not so crooked. I just don't know. Come on, Steve.
I mean,
Oh,
there's
that's-
space. Oh,
That's good, right?
A little more the other way. Yep, keep going. A little more.
Keep going.
That's good. Yeah, let's go.
Are we
Let's go.
Are we drinking?
Nah, I'm just gonna chill until I'm gonna chill until.
Shit.
Come on, get in here, Steve.
I was like, so.
You can see the questions and everything.
Yep.
Oh my God. I'm a little drunk already.
All right.
Yeah.
What should the first poll be? Will Conor actually fight Chandler?
Let's go. What's up, boys and girls? Happy almost New Year's Eve. Can you guys hear us? Can you hear us? I want to make sure this microphone/camera. Can you guys hear us? Yes, no?
Can you see the comments? I can't even
Chat, can you hear us? We can hear, they said.
Yes. We are going. Oh, so this is
Hey,
a microphone and a camera.
Somebody said, thank God Jake is back. I thought he got fired. I'm still not fired.
Not yet.
Yeah, we go.
No, but yeah, Jake took a little hiatus because he was feeling a little butthurt from the comments. He was like, "Bro, maybe you should do it by yourself. Everyone hates me." I was like, "Jake, it's not so bad. Come on, man. These people don't really hate you."
You know what happened?
It was only 2 comments.
I removed myself for a little bit, and now I see a lot of comments saying bring Jake back. I got a text the other day from my friend. He said the podcast isn't the same without me.
Wow.
And when we added Steven, so I think it's good. You know, it's like a big win.
I try not to look at the comments, but like
No, they
last
love
time,
you.
man, a lot of glaze. I don't even know what glaze means.
I think
hate
that was
the kids,
Conor.
bro. I hate
It
kids,
means
bro.
you're sucking dick.
That's what I'm saying. Like I
Glaze.
have to break it down. I'm like, you guys suck, bro.
Glaze.
Yo, someone said after listening to the other guy glazing ALJO the whole time, Jake was sorely missed.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I don't even know who glaze.
That is hilarious.
That's so funny.
Hey guys, obviously this is the end of the year, December 31st. Just want to say one last shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for always tuning in, rocking with us. 2023 was a big year. We were just talking about this earlier. I hope we could do it bigger in 2024. We got a lot of good things coming on the horizon. Funk Harvest set to release in January. We should be able to actually put out official bottles next month. That is the plan, they said. I know obviously you go into these business ventures and they say something as a tentative date and then it gets pushed back, But this is what they said. This is the final pushback. So we're saying January is going to be the official release and we'll have some stuff for you guys. I don't know how far into January, but we're just waiting on the label to be finished and then we're good.
It's gonna look
We're already
like,
approved.
Does it
We're
look
already
like
approved.
what you already have? Like,
Yeah, but it's going to be more readable.
Should we go get
legible.
the bottle right now?
There's not much left in it.
Yeah,
but
but just like
it's in the
having
basement.
this
It's in the
out.
basement.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all the way downstairs. But I'm sure you guys had so much fun watching that jiu-jitsu match yesterday. Tell me how much of a barn burner that was. All those scrambles, this guy scooting his ass, leaving his snail trail all over the canvas. So much excitement.
Kenny asked ALJO, bro, how do you lose to a butt scooter?
Did I actually lose? Did I actually lose? I don't know, man.
Is it losing if you initiate all the action?
So someone said he was the only one that did a jiu-jitsu move. So I go, but I went into his guard. At that point, you're supposed to do jiu-jitsu because you pulled guard. You only pull guard if you think that you can do something advantageous in that position. But I mean, you play jiu-jitsu, I play jiu-jitsu. I pull to my butt, but I'm always attacking. It's never I'm just laying there. I'm trying to go for this inverted bullshit and give you my ass cheeks. It's just weird, bro. I don't do that.
I think to be fair, MMA jiu-jitsu is different. Like you're actively looking to punch people and avoid getting punched. So on top, you're looking for positions where you can hit a guy, and on bottom, you're definitely trying to avoid getting hit. That's what I'm saying. Like I think to only make it's stupid, but like it's only make it fair. You got to be able to show punches or something. Like where I think sport jiu-jitsu kind of ruins the whole idea of jiu-jitsu in general. Anyways, like jiu-jitsu is meant for self-defense and to be able to protect yourself in the streets. Like even in that armbar situation where like you're picking the guy up and swinging him around.
Killed him.
He could be dead. That's what I'm saying. Like it's
He
like
could be paralyzed.
you saw the UFC.
I'm not saying I'm not encouraging, but obviously.
But you saw the
You would
UFC a
never
couple
do
weeks
that.
ago. Your fucking guy gets slammed on the mat and he's out cold. Like that's again for a street situation. Like it doesn't really make sense. And I think look, for sport jiu-jitsu, fine, whatever. Like if you want to do that, it is what it is. But like,
someone asked me why didn't I slam him, and I said because I don't want to be a complete asshole. I was already making fun of him, swinging him around in the air by one arm, and I was like, you should have been a complete dick and just slammed his ass.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, in hindsight, I should have fucking just did it.
No, but look, again, Aljo, I try to tell people that, like, Aljo is a better man than most of you. Like, in terms of that stuff, like, I would have fucking slapped the shit. Like, that's crazy. Like, dude, the guy's fucking not doing nothing, bro. Like, that's not how, in any sport, that's what I'm saying. Like,
hey, man, how about you trying to pass my guard? I was like, bro, this is what you want to do for these fans on a big platform. I said, on a big platform like this, you want to show this to the world. He goes, how about you trying to pass my guard? I said, I'm trying to. But when I get in your guard, you stiff on my face, and it pushed me away. And then if I don't stand up and give you a leg lock entry and make it look like you're doing something, how am I supposed to score in a position like that without it looking like I'm giving up a favorable? I don't know. It's such a weird. I didn't think I won, but I damn sure didn't feel like I lost.
I think that's more than fair.
But I don't.
I think I won the
fight. This guy did the same thing to Merab, and then they gave him another main event against you.
Well,
I mean, why would they put that guy in?
Like, I don't know if they thought I was like the anti-leg lock guy. I'm like, no, I'm not an anti-leg lock guy. I just
so that's
just
all
don't
he's trying to do.
Bullshit. He sat down. He didn't have one single takedown attempt. I told him to stand up. Dan Murgayata was like, yo, come on, bro, stand up. He stood up like 3 times
and then
went right back to his butt.
And then
wow.
Look, it's fine, but again, that's not enjoyable for anybody. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all.
It's like I understand the combat. Let me not say combat. Let me not say combat. I understand the sport jiu-jitsu enthusiast.
You should have started like faking elbows and shit.
100%. That's what, dude. I'm
just to be like funny, like this is what I could actually do to you.
You hit the ground, like
if you actually, if you were to do this in any type of fight scenario, this is what I would actually do to you.
You'd be a dead man on the street.
That would be hilarious.
Again, I don't know if you guys saw, like Kenny Florian tweeted out, and I agree with him 100%. Like the sport jiu-jitsu aspect of it, it kind of rewards. I thought it rewards cowardice. It just that's insanity. Like again, for the risk of him getting up to his feet and then getting taken down is far less than Aljo going into it. It's just stupid. Ultimately, again, that's what's going to ultimately ruin the sport of jiu-jitsu. If you guys want to, like, no one's going to want to watch that.
It's already ruined.
Yeah, in
I was hoping that Kevin Dantzler was actually going to do the right thing and engage and make it fun. And they said I wasn't engaging. I'm like, how much more do you want me to engage? You want me to give him my fucking leg?
Well, that's kind
Should I just put my leg in his guard and say, okay, do something? And if I can't defend it, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do if he got both his legs, both his arms attacking one of my limbs?
Yeah, well, that's what they want from you, but they can't expect the other side to be like, dude, go learn to wrestle. Like, get on your feet.
But I'm the asshole.
Yeah, again, it is what it is. That's just
crazy.
Again, the people. Again,
dude, everyone online didn't thought you were in the right. Only the people there who were his friends.
For his friends, and his teammates
were the ones booing you.
Because I read in the comments, and every time I clicked one of those people who were for pro Dantzler, I clicked and it was like, oh, you train with him. Oh, okay. So your whole thing was, well, learn to pass guard. I'm like, well, I was trying to pass guard, but if you're not engaging, I don't train jiu-jitsu 5 days a week, 6 days a week like he does.
Yeah.
He teaches it. He rolls it. He doesn't do boxing. He doesn't do MMA. I do everything else. And you're telling me you're afraid of me? You're afraid of me? Who trains part-time? I'm a part-timer.
In terms of jiu-jitsu.
Come on, bro.
Well, again, the whole point of it, I think, should be, dude, can you defend yourself like that? Like, no fucking way. Like, if you were on the street, are you gonna butt scoot your way into victory? Like that.
Enzo Gracie laughed at it.
Of course.
Like, Boys, Gracie made a comment, not about this recent competition, but he made a comment
about that.
Like, this is what's ruining. Like,
1,000%.
Sport jiu-jitsu is ruining actual jiu-jitsu, which is meant for self-defense.
1,000%.
But my sensei said the same thing.
MMA, the
what?
Gracies.
No, I know, but he's saying it's not.
Yeah.
He's saying
it's
not meant to look like that.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That just degrades it.
And then my coach, Matt Sarah, him and I spoke. I was like, I want to pick your brain on that position particularly. He's like, no, this is why I can't even watch it anymore. He's like, because that is what guys do.
Yeah.
And it's given almost like these certain rule sets are giving them that out to feel like they did something or accomplished something great. So I don't know. I'm just saying, if you pull guard in, I think IBJF or ADCC, you get a negative. And I think Fight Pass Invitation too, you get a negative. That's not an advantageous position. So if you pull guard, yes, the defense and your offense, but if you pull guard and you don't initiate to even try to do anything, and then you want me to give you something so it could appear from a judge's decision that you went for something, then how am I going to get any type of advantageous position other than hoping that you go for a knee bar, you fail, and I can scoot around the back and take you back? And if I don't, I'm in a position that don't look good, and if I defend it, you look like you had the attempt.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. You want it to look like you're doing something. I'm like, no, you're playing the freaking game. And I'm not playing the game. Let's play and get the position, get some scrambles, make it fun for the fans, and make it fun for people that want to get into jiu-jitsu. Like, oh, that looked cool. Romanov, Dawkins, that was fun.
That was fun.
Even though Dawkins got thrown around, it was fun.
It was a fun match, yeah. And again, even earlier in the night, like we had a teammate, Charlie Campbell. He competed in the same.
Some back and forth.
But again, like what just sucks is it's like the same thing that made judges. There's no consistency in anything. Like again, to Charlie's credit, he won the match, but the other guy was the one shooting up the jiu-jitsu, whatever, shooting up submission attempts, all that stuff. So like,
and Charlie won.
Charlie won the match. So it's like, okay, so what's the argument that? What are you like? Again, for me, my argument for Charlie winning, I'm like, dude, Charlie's the one in the dominant position.
Well, he got 2 takedowns.
Oh, he got 2 takedowns.
Yeah.
But again, Charlie in those positions, I'm like, even though when the guy's jumping on Charlie's leg, I'm like, Charlie, fucking elbow his head right now. Like, just fucking.
Exactly. Like, that would have been so funny.
You would have killed him. Like, the guy's got 2 hands and his whole body on one leg. And I'm looking at Charlie. I'm like, Charlie, you're looking at his temple. Like, at least show an elbow. Like,
you die here.
That's what I'm saying. I just think that's where it ruins the realism of it.
Someone said butt scooters hold the sport back.
No, they do. They definitely hold the sport back, man. And I'm saying as a BJJ enthusiast, I love BJJ, but
100%.
I like the guys who go for it. Pat Sabatini versus Nico Price.
Phenomenal.
Pat Sabatini fights at 145 in the UFC. Nico Price fights at 170 in the UFC. He goes out there, takes him down, takes his back.
Amazing.
So you have stretch in like
sick.
Less than 2 minutes.
Dude, you guys would have had 6 scrambles.
I was like, why couldn't they have given me Pat Sabatini?
Yeah.
That would have been way more fun. Like Kevin Dancer go butt scoot with some other butt scooter and just leave their like. So we have to clean up the mat from the snail trail for them just scooting around their ass cheeks. And I told him, I was like, you let another man grab you by your ankles in front of your loved ones. And when I went to say, I just didn't want to be that intent with my words. But you got your wife here, bro.
Oh no, ALJO,
getting dragged around like that. Like, how as a man, how are you going back home feeling like, yeah, babe, I showed him.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, babe, I showed him.
Nah, first of all, there's no way. There's no way a man.
All right.
Me around
Somebody left a $20 super chat.
Oh, hey.
They said, incredibly big fan. Ryan said, incredibly big fan. Man.
Shout out, Ryan.
You generally are one of my favorite fighters ever, but respectfully, arguably the greatest bantamweight champ with wins over legends deserves to fight another former champ like Holloway, not number 7. What do you think about that, Aljamain?
I agree. But I know Holloway wants to do the same thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go up and chase greatness. I think Holloway, from what I understand, is trying, at least the rumblings, it sounds like he wants to go up a weight class. And maybe they're going to make that happen with somebody. Maybe to be in Melko with Gaethje. I don't know. I'm just speculating what they're going to do. He doesn't have a sure set future from my point of view, but I can only speculate what I'm seeing. The division is tied up. He's got to wait for Volkanovski, Topuria. Topuria wins. It opens the door wide open for Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Volk wins. Then Max Holloway is stuck in this limbo, rare position where he might as well take some fun, entertaining fights because they're probably not going to do a 4-fight right now. So I was hoping that he would just be like, hey, you know what? Let's just do this kind of a big name fight and just see what happens and kind of go about it like that. But I'm excited either way. Calvin Kattar is still a tough-ass dude. The number is not the greatest, but if Volkanovski wins again, and we'll see what happens between Arnold Allen and Mosar Evloev, and we'll see what happened with my fight with Calvin Kattar. If I beat Kattar, we'll see what happens between those guys, and then whoever had the best performance, being that neither one of us has fought in Volkanovski yet, it gives us all a good shot at fighting for that title at 145. So it just really depends on how everything looks. I'm just hoping for a good performance in 2024, and that's the best I can do.
Yeah. I did a poll. It said, will Conor actually fight Chandler at International Fight Week? 65% of people think yes. 35% of people think Conor won't make it to the fight.
Conor won't make it to the fight. Dude, at this point, I think they should just fight at heavyweight. I don't know. Just so we can just get him in there.
I mean, look, I think Conor, I'm sure Conor is asking for outrageous things. But, I mean, not even outrageous. To be fair, he probably earned all that stuff. But, I just fight. Again, if you want to do that at 185, everyone, I'm sure, can agree on something that'll make everyone happy. The only thing that I think would make it tough would be Conor starts asking for, again, same things like equity or stuff like that in the company where it makes it all right, we can't do something like that or else other people are going to ask.
I don't get why they couldn't have given him a couple points, though.
Yeah, why does it glitch?
I don't know.
This is a good camera.
I keep seeing that.
You think what ask or give Conor more? What?
Like I remember, like at his peak, he was like, "I want ownership,"
Oh yeah,
but then like they didn't give it to him.
yeah, because I mean,
Like 1 point wouldn't have killed him. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah, but we got shareholders and shit like that. So it's just like, what's the difference?
and also just the
I don't know.
I
thing
don't
for
get what's the
them.
difference. What's the actual difference? You got a guy who's actually in the sport.
I just think, look, I don't know, but I would
well,
think
the
for them,
shareholders paid for their shares. Is the
Yeah, but I mean,
but Connor's brought so
you
much
could have
more
bought.
value.
You could have
Yeah.
bought those shares too. So
No,
it's like
exactly.
even if Connor wanted
No,
to buy
I
the shares,
I
it's
think they
like-
should have given him some.
I mean, look, I always just thought it was pretty simple, like for the UFC. And again, I could be wrong on this, but the UFC's here, the fighters are here. Like that's the deal, guys. Like if you let a fighter get up, I don't think that's what they want. I think ultimately the fighters got to stay here.
F you, bro.
That's look, I don't know what they do. That's the deal. Like again, it is just what it is. It's their business. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If the fighters don't, whatever. Again.
It is a sad reality, but at the end of the day, that's why I come to grips with this like a long time ago.
You almost have to.
On my first contract, when I was like, yo, man, I used to be way more active on the regional circuit than I came to the UFC, and it was just kind of like pulling teeth trying to get a fight. And I was just so confused. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I could have been making money. I came here to make money, fight as often as possible, and I couldn't get a fight. Back then, I wanted to be the Cowboy Cerrone of the bantamweight division because I could have made the weight within like 1-2 weeks, no problem. And it was just really hard to get fights. I would have made more money as a teacher. Thankfully, it all worked out later on in hindsight, but it was just one of those situations where you just never know what's going to happen. So I don't know. It's tough.
How do you guys think Conor and Chandler will be in terms of like performance and like gas tank and like you think they'll be at their peak going up that much?
Going up to 185.
Do you think they'll even actually weigh that much?
Probably not. I mean, if they're in shape, I'm sure they'll both get down to like. I'm sure Chandler will get down to like 170 something. Like maybe like 180. Yeah. But I mean, I think he rehydrates up to 180 something. So like I could see him getting or just walking around there. But like, I mean, that's not. That's what I'm saying. At this point, like we can all watch McGregor for the entertainment value of it, but like that's it. That's all this is for. So like, yeah, he can fight at fucking 205. He can fight at heavyweight, whatever the fuck he wants to do. But like,
who's at fault though?
What's up?
Who's really at fault here?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Connor's blaming the UFC. Chandler's making fun of Conor. Connor is saying stuff about Chandler and everybody else.
Okay, who's at fault? Everyone's at fault. Everyone, I'm sure, to some extent, is at fault. But when I say that, it's like the UFC is probably not going to accept the things that Conor wants, even though they should. And Conor knows the UFC is not going to accept what he wants, even though they probably should. So I think Michael Chandler's just like, bro, I'll fucking wait for my payday. I don't give a fuck. So like I respect him. Michael Chandler's chilling anyway. So
I hope Chandler gets some pay-per-view.
All right, look, Chandler, if he gets that fight, like anyone, deserves to get fucking paid.
Yeah.
Right. But again, he knows that too. So I don't know who's at fault, but I just think there's probably how about this? If Conor really wanted to fight, this would have been solved fucking months ago. And if the UFC,
I think Conor wants to fight, but he just doesn't want to cut weight.
Okay, that's fair. I'm sure he wants. How about this? I'm sure he wants to fight under his
PEDs.
Whatever, under his whatever circumstances. But
because what is July? July is 6 months from now.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
So that's probably why they can't do 300. Because he's got to be clean for 6 months.
No,
well, I heard Leon Edwards is on the 300 card.
Yeah.
I saw somebody.
Also, you saw it is out January 1st, so I don't think that's gonna matter.
No, they're out now. Today's the last day.
Oh,
I got an email. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So from now on, we go through.
So that's why he could announce I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
But no, really, like who? That's what I'm saying. Michael Chandler doesn't care. I mean, if Michael Chandler doesn't care, I'm not gonna care. Like,
wait, hold on.
How about this? Let's juice them both the fuck up and put some needles in their ass cheeks and let them get in there and scrap. How about that, guys? Come on,
guys. Can you guys hear? Leave a comment because somebody said they can't hear. Can you guys hear?
Jake, what are they saying?
Yeah, we can hear. Okay, all right.
Okay, what is this guy talking about?
What is that guy talking about?
I don't know. It's fine, trolling. What an asshole. What an ass.
Come on, dog.
Okay, I guess it was kind of a good troll.
Now they're all going to do that.
That's terrible. No, I think that Conor...
Juice him up, man.
Juice him up. Look, have fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, Conor is going to be always good for business. It's always good for the casual audience. But again, if you're here as a fan to watch the best fight the best, Conor's not your guy. Like, he's just there to make some money. Like, it's fun. It's all good. Again, it's like the same thing as CM Punk. I'm gonna watch that guy fight. No disrespect to Conor. He's obviously way better. But like, I'm not watching that because I'm like, oh man, this guy's the best in the fight. Like this guy could be the best in the world. I want to see what this guy's capable. It's like I want to see this guy fight because he's a fucking maniac. He was one of the best in the world. Now he's coked up and ready to do some damage. Let's go. Like that's fun.
You think he goes into the octagon coked up?
I mean,
I don't know.
And off some proper 12.
First of all, the man's unstoppable.
That might actually like help.
He fought Connor, or he fought Khabib.
Definitely help, bro.
Yeah, for a round. Yeah.
Yeah, like
not that I know.
After one round, you're done.
Look again. Not that I know.
To be fair, I would watch almost anybody fight.
When you break it down,
when you think about it, I would watch almost anybody just get into a straight up fist fight. But it depends on the time of the day. If I got some important shit to do,
yeah, exactly.
It depends who you are. If I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to watch you fight, you know,
I'm tired. I watch Street Beast.
We all sat here and watched Jake Paul fight.
Yes,
but
we watched.
I watched a couple rounds.
We watched Dylan Dennis versus Logan Paul together.
Given the circumstances, because we thought it was gonna be a banger, it was trash.
It was a terrible fight.
Trash.
It was like a Kobe type performance. Speaking of which,
can we talk about the pay-per-view numbers? I forgot to touch on this on the last podcast. Because I got hit with some people saying, "Oh, they were blaming me." Guys, I never once claimed to be a pay-per-view star. I get paid my money. I'm happy with that. I would love to make more money and be in a pay-per-view star, but I've never once gone out on parade and like, yeah, I show all these kind of crazy pay-per-views. The UFC needs me. I don't do that shit. The one guy who did it was the guy with the colorful hair. I mean, even though my hair is colorful right now, but you guys get my point.
I mean, also, look.
And it wasn't my biggest payday. And it wasn't my lowest. My lowest, I don't even know if I need to get into that, but it wasn't my highest. I think I had two that were higher.
I'm just not the first time even asking you this, but like, how do they do the pay-per-view points in terms of like where are you getting that number from? Like, this is how many pay-per-views were sold. Like,
well, you get your contract. They tell you, like, if you get past your first contract, you typically get your second contract. If you're doing well, they'll let you. From what I understand, at least for me, I did well. So they let me know, like, if you won your first and second fight, then more than likely you'll be fighting for a title. This will be your pay-per-view payout. This is the threshold. If you sell X amount past this number, I'm not going to go into details because last time you expect someone to come after me and say, "Oh, she's talking too much."
No, of course. But where is that number, like that pay-per-view? Because okay, like back when the pay-per-views were on, like on demand and stuff like that, like it was the.
Oh, who's counting them up?
Who's counting these numbers up?
I have no idea.
That's where I'm like, motherfuckers. All right, look, again, with all due respect, I'm just like, when they were doing on demand, I don't know how old the people watching are. Again, you guys are using fucking glaze. I don't know what the fuck that even means. Just say what it is. But like, this is what I'm saying. Like, back when it was like the cable companies and whatever, like they were the ones that put out the numbers. So like the numbers weren't the UFC. Like now it's all through ESPN Plus. Like how the fuck do I know that whatever pay-per-view number they're telling me is actually what they're selling? Again, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not trying to stir anything up. But it's like, if the UFC is telling me they sold 8 million pay-per-views or 100,000, whatever they're trying to say, what the fuck is my incentive to actually believe that? Like, because they have an incentive to lie to me. I have no whatever. It is what it is, but I'm always just fascinated by that. Like, is ESPN putting out that number or is it the UFC?
Actually, no one. They don't really release.
They don't release those numbers. They haven't released those in years since the ESPN.
They only released it. They only release the numbers when they're trying to make a guy look bad.
Well, always.
Like Francis, they released them.
Respectfully.
Did they?
Yeah.
They said it did 300.
Yeah, no.
Again, release that?
It was like put out on all the platforms.
But that's it, exactly. Like when they say release
they actually release
that's
it.
Yeah. That's just their number that they're like, oh, by the way, we sold this many pay-per-view buys. Like, okay, let me see those numbers. Let me see the accounting sheet that says this was how much we made on this pay-per-view. And again, it's not just the pay-per-views you guys sold. Like how much merchandise was sold, how much A, B, C. Like if O'Malley was like,
that's the extra.
Okay, but if O'Malley was like, yo, I saw like, oh, my pay-per-views didn't do great, but my merchandise was through the fucking roof, I'd be like, okay, that's understandable. Okay, so that's how you're making the money. But like, if you're just telling me the UFC told you, oh yeah, by the way, like I sold 1 million pay-per-views, and then again, devil's advocate, they could easily be like, ALJO, that was only 100,000 pay-per-views you guys sold. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How am I gonna be able to tell the difference?
Why would they
lie?
Lie just because
then they
like
can
if
shit on
ALJO did
him.
sell a bunch of pay-per-views, then they would like him and they would just.
They would.
Yeah, they wouldn't lie to him.
You're right. In theory, they could.
I'm sure Sean knows all the numbers that he's doing.
But because
Sean O'Malley
knows all the numbers that he's doing.
I'm sure because it seems like he talks so closely.
But they also like him, respectfully.
As far as I know, the UFC would never chalk up that information to an athlete to let you know how that takes away all their leverage. Why would they give you the power to know what your actual numbers are, what you draw? Like now
makes
you
sense,
know
yeah.
exactly what you bring to the
No,
table.
yeah, but it seems like Sean knows everything that's going on behind the scenes.
Based
The way
on
he
what?
talks. How
Based on how he
confidently
talks.
he talks about what's going on with him in the UFC.
Because of his social media following?
You don't get the vibe that Sean and Dana and Hunter have like a special relationship going on where they talk
If you're saying
about
he's got
everything
Dana White
going on.
privilege, he definitely has
Yeah.
Dana White privilege. But
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
I feel like he knew their whole plan. Like, we're gonna give you Jan, and then we're gonna hold you, and like we're gonna put Henry in there because we think Henry has the best chance to beat Aljo, and we don't want you to fight Aljo. But if Aljo, like I think he knows all that stuff.
Yeah, but that's not.
So I wouldn't be surprised if
numbers.
I mean,
look, I wouldn't be shocked if they gave him like an insight, or they even like
if, I'm sure they tell him stuff like, "You're our biggest draw by far." Besides,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could easily hear them saying
like,
that,
stuff like
but
that.
I would like to see
And then
the spreadsheet with the numbers that say, okay, based on what? And again, like
we would never get to see that.
Yeah, I mean, again,
They
there's a
would
pretty
never-
big antitrust lawsuit going on against the UFC. You guys want to look into that?
We
Not
did-
that I'm
we
sorry
did-
about that. Sorry.
Hey,
No, but just out of curiosity.
You're gonna be canceled
I
by
know,
my
I
bosses.
know.
We-
No
we-
one's watching this. Come
we
on,
did-
how many viewers do we have?
250.
Oh wow.
What round?
Thousand?
What round are you gonna sub Cater? That's from Frederick Hoxtonville.
Shit, man. I feel like it could be first or second round if it were to get to that position. But honestly, I'm not gonna go hunting for a takedown right out of the gate. I kind of want to get my feet wet a little bit, kind of like how Figgy did. Just feel the power, feel the pushback, and then kind of go from there and just feel the fight. Like, let the fight kind of come to me and not rush it. Do what I normally used to do. Take my time and just see what comes to me. Versus like trying to push the action to go on vacation. Like, now I'm out of vacation mode. I'm ready to scrap. I'm ready to compete. I got a burnout break.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I kind of have a fresh lease on my career right now.
The Guru Army has entered the chat.
Guru Army.
You know what I think when you're
This is the Guru Army.
Hey yo.
I think when you're
That's
streaming,
amazing.
he like
Hey,
sends someone will like send your stream into like his Discord or something.
Yeah.
Because I always see their comments just flood in when you live stream.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. Guru Army.
Yo, we like the Guru.
Okay, either way.
But yeah, they just to specify, the UFC did tell me that was the biggest trending pay-per-view fight for a bantamweight headliner. So in terms of that, we did very, very well.
All right.
But in the sense of trying to say that we were the biggest purse that I would have, like, in the sense of you tell me like, yo, dude, this is gonna do phenomenal numbers. If that's kind of how I was sold it. And when I look at it like that, I go, in hindsight, that's what I said. In hindsight, if I knew this is what it was going to be, it was just to break the bantamweight record. Okay, that's great, but is that worth my sanity? Is that worth my belt? Is that worth me not fighting at my optimal best? And again, it's not even trying to make excuses. I'm just calling the facts of the facts. The fact, this is reality of what it is. The better man won that night. Yeah, in that watered down version of myself. Yeah, if that's the better man. Okay, cool. That's the better man that night. But I like to say if the playing field was more even, fair to both sides, not a guy coming off a 1 year layoff, 11 month layoff, and another guy coming off of a 5-round war with one of the best guys in the world, and then just jumping right back into a crazy big weight cut. Like, there's so many layers to this, and it's like I hate leaning on that, but if I'm an opponent where I'm Cheeto, I'm looking at all this, I'm like, well, I kind of got to look at all the outside factors going into it. Yeah, he had a great highlight reel finish, but what are the things I could take away from this? Was that the best version of Aljamain Sterling? Was that the best version of Sean O'Malley? Why did he do what he did? Like, those are questions I ask myself from an analytical standpoint when I'm breaking down fights, assessing fights, and that's what helps me get the edge and what has gotten me to the top. And all I'm saying is, if the playing field was even, I think the outcome is a little bit different. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, so I got just two questions. A, because you said it first of all. First, do you think the Figueiredo fight was like at all like inspiring or motivating for you?
I was literally gonna
100%.
I mean, come on. Because
Like,
again,
did you watch how he did it? Like,
Yeah,
how he took his approach. And then
what do you mean his approach? Like the fight?
Like how he, like you were just saying how you're like gonna go out and feel it out. How how Figgy did is like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I'm not trying to rush it. I'm not trying to go in there like I'm frantically trying to get the fight to the ground. I want to feel the fight. I want to take my time, like the Jan fight. Take my time in round one. Like, oh, you want to come out aggressive? Okay, I'll play Matador. Okay, you want to play passive? You want to sit and wait? I can press a little bit and get a little bit more of my feints and my offense going. So it just really depends on which way the fight goes,
Yeah.
and it allows me to kind of adapt to where I'm doing in the moment. In the moment, kind of like, just being like water, man. Like water has no form. You got to be able to be shapeless, be able to just form to whatever is being thrown at you, and being able to change, adapt in the moment. And I think that's what has helped me get to the top, where a guy can change up, and then I can change up with him and make those adjustments in real time. And that's what makes a phenomenal athlete. You see in basketball, you see in football, all these game time fighters or players being able to do those type of things. And that's what makes a high level athlete a high level athlete.
Yeah.
So I look at Figgy and like, that was super impressive how he was able to do it. Because I thought Rob Font would have had a tough time.
I just
but
thought too big,
long,
too long,
rangy, touched him up. Adrian Yanez, what he did to Adrian, although Adrian might have had some issues with his leg going in after we spoke, it's just, oh no, that was the Jonathan Martinez fight. Sorry. But although Adrian Yanez went to that fight, I don't know if he had anything going on with that fight with Rob Font. The way he was able to touch him up and counter him, it made me feel like the same thing was possibly going to happen in the fight with Dave Figueiredo.
Yeah, I thought something.
Did I say you? Music?
Yeah, okay.
Oh. So I was looking at that. I was like, this is just inspirational from a sense of a guy coming up, not knowing what's going to happen against a hard hitter,
a very similar situation against the New England guy. Very good boxer, long reach, dangerous.
I was like, Rob Font is probably going to struggle trying to catch him around for the first round because he's going to be faster. But eventually he's going to get the weight, put it on him. Yep. Even if he takes him down, he's going to be able to get up and lean on him. It's going to be hard for him to carry the weight. And then Figgy's going to get tired. I think he's going to have a hard time. I didn't say anything. He thought I was saying something negative. I'm like, no. As an outsider looking in, this is my honest assessment of what I think might happen. Can you knock anybody out? Yeah, if you touch them in the right spot, anyone could do it. A scrub off the street can catch me in the middle of the street, in the middle of an argument, and put me down. You know what I mean? But what does that mean? You're a phenomenal fighter? Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we talking about? So, very impressed about that. I thought he did a great job, and it made me feel good about my approach coming up, and just trusting in the process, believing in what I'm doing, and hopefully good things happen. That's it.
We got another super chat. King Jackson 11 said, "Hate that you took the Sean fight. You should have sat and made him fight on your terms.
Yeah,
can't be a company man and look out for your career. At some point that there's a crossroads."
I guess
is that the question or
it's? I guess.
Well, real quick, actually, to build on that, then, like I was going to be like, okay, because you were saying before on the O'Malley fight that in retrospect you wouldn't have taken it. Like given your approach and everything, like it wasn't, you didn't feel like you were the best in that. Do you think knowing that going into the fight changed your approach when you were physically in there? Because I remember,
yes,
it has to have. 100%. Because you listen to Volkanovski again, same thing. He was like 2 weeks notice in my mind all the time. I'm telling myself, I'm gonna go after this motherfucker. And then we finally get into like I didn't do everything I was supposed to prepare for this fight. And he just said I couldn't pull the trigger. Again, these are just things that I don't think people really think about going into there. I will say. Because I was there at the event, like I'm watching this as an outsider, I'm like, damn, Aljo's not fighting like Aljo. Like, again, it's different. I'm sure he was doing stuff too to make it difficult, but
of course, his footwork was phenomenal.
Yes.
His range control was phenomenal.
Yeah, of course.
But even after I was chasing him around the first round, and then I sat back and he hit me one time to the body with a cross, and I go, you know what? I'm done chasing him. And this is when I made that what would you call it? Like I adapted to the fight style of what he was bringing to the table. I was like, you know what? Not chasing this motherfucker no more. Let him come chase me. Mm-hmm. So then he starts coming forward. He starts doing all these fakes. I'm like, who are you faking? You're faking for who? Like you're literally in the middle just doing all these fake moves where I'm like a mile away from you. Yeah. You're never going to hit me from there. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to see it coming. It's going to allow me to get an opportunity to take you down. So as I'm doing this, then he's kind of like realizing like, all right, I see what's going on here. Now he's trying to make an adjustment. Yeah. And then eventually I was able to get him to the cage and I started landing a couple punches. I'm like, yeah, I hemmed him up a little bit. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you that I'm about to big brother that ass. This is all the thought process going through my head. Mm-hmm. Second round, I'm talking to coaches in between rounds. Like, who do you guys think won that round? He's like, I think it was close, but I think he might have edged it out. But there was never no like, hey, let's stay patient, stay calm. He's going to eventually give you something. And in my head, I was like, all right, I'm going to go after him. I'm going to press a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And that was where the mental was just like, a slight I just want to get out of the fight. Yeah. It wasn't more so the technical error that I made. Yeah, I made a technical read the wrong way, but it was more so if I wasn't thinking the way I was thinking in that approach, as soon as that second round came out, I went after it. Yeah, 100%. And I was just like, that just wasn't the approach that I was supposed to take in the game plan that I stuck with all training camp. Yes. It was like, just take your time, be patient. And even in the moment was working successfully for you. Like, I'm like, I should have fought the whole fight like I did the first round, but in hindsight, I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just what it is. The better man won that night, and it is what it is. Like, I take nothing away from him, but I do know, and we fought a couple more times. Like, that fight just doesn't go like that.
That's funny. I thought about
Whatever.
this
No,
too.
I don't care what anyone wants to say. Like, I know myself. He knows himself, and he knows I felt when he hit me, and he finished the fight, him getting up was kind of like. He took it in, took it in the home run. But I think he was very shocked that I made such a silly mistake.
Yeah.
Almost exactly like what couldn't have gone any better for me.
Literally.
And I was like,
perfect. Yeah.
To talk about someone gave you a freaking layup on a platter, like I threw it up off the backboard and you slammed it in. Like, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, it was a well-timed punch. Yeah, he's a great counter striker. I knew all those things. It's the fact of the matter that he did a stupid little front kick and I was already being overly aggressive, and I just wanted to get my hands on and just get the fight over with. That's what I'm saying. It's not an excuse.
Well, just based on what you're saying,
the mistake that I made. I'm walking through the mistake that I made, not saying it's an excuse. I'm going through the mistakes that I made, and I know that I would never. Well, the one time I did that was against Marlon Moraes, but it's very few and far in between that I've had bad decisions like that. Like
a little blunder. Yes. Yeah. It's like
it was a bad blunder.
A bad blunder. Again,
very bad.
That's funny too. Like in retrospect, when you say stuff like that too, like if you. You know, it's funny. I thought about this the other day. Like, if you fought the whole fight like you did that first round and you won, whatever. Like, say you won a decision. Let's say even you choked, whatever. People be like, "This guy sucks. Yeah. He was fucking boring. Like, he didn't do shit all 5 rounds." It's like there's just no winning. That's what I'm saying. Ultimately,
no onus on the challenger.
Again, ultimately, this is just all it is. Like, unfortunately, you weren't given Dana White privilege. Like, it's just.
But the name of the game is to win, right?
No, of course. So that's ultimately how it should be. Well, look, that's what the name of the game is supposed to be. But even now, like, we talk about this stuff, but like, again, I'm not trying to shit on it, but like, you watch Dana White Contender Series, and again, this is from like my perspective. Like, if I'm in the corner for guys, stuff like that, like, things have to, like, for me, I want to be like, all this is about winning. Like, all we have to do is focus on how the fuck are we gonna get a dominant fucking win. But like, you go to Contender Series, you got a guy that's about to get on the Contender Series. You got all the this guy's got to not only just win, but he's got to be exciting. Now he's got to look to kill this motherfucker, whether that's his style or not. Like, now you have to change things up just based on that. Like, it's a kind of shitty way to think about things rather than, all right, you're the best, you're the better fighter, fight better. Like, fight better than this guy.
And in the heat of the moment.
Absolutely.
To make those decisions.
To be like, okay, go put yourself in the fire. And again, for me, it's easy to say that. But like, I'm not going to tell a guy, go put yourself in that situation. Good luck. And then let's say that motherfucker our guy gets knocked out. Then I'm like, sorry, like it's not my body in there. It's
did it for the contract, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's a shitty way to look at things, you know.
What I say, just to piggyback off of what the other guy was saying, I do agree. I forget his name, the one that asked the last question. It's like I forget the name, but I agree with you. I should have sat. I should have waited. I took my time to make sure I was mentally prepared. Like I said, like I spoke to Dean Thomas. He was like, "Bro, I don't think you should take the fight unless." You feel like you're mentally able to turn on that switch. And I was like, I feel like I did in training. But at the end of the day, training is training.
Yeah.
The fight is the fight.
Yeah.
And that's why I knew I was just like, I just didn't have that separation where I was able to. It sucks because I hate talking about it because it feels like, oh, you're a sore loser. I'm like, it's not being a sore loser. I'm just reflecting on past mistakes and past events in my career. Like, this is what people tune in for. Yeah. Like, you want to hear what the actual fighter's talking without giving you bullshit. I'm giving you the realest of the real. In hindsight, I wish I did sit because I think I would have been more freshly rejuvenated and ready to go versus jumping in there trying to prove a point. And on top of that, I had a lot of outside influences, my coaches, my manager. You could say pressure from the fans, but I don't really let the fans pressure me into taking a fight. That's just like probably the last deciding factor. But you snowball that in together. It's like, bro, just go out there. You just take him down, beat him up. The fight will be over. Bro, you take him down, beat him up. The fight's gonna be over. I'm just like,
is that easy?
And I was telling everybody, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult than just going there and take him down. The guy has great footwork. He's gonna be very hard to cut off and control. And I got to get my hands on him first. I knew that going in. And then on top of that, I knew I had a month off from training just because I couldn't even kick, which is all my footwork drills and everything because of the damage I had from kicking Henry Cejudo multiple times. But again, hindsight's 2020. I'm not mad at it. I'm glad I made a big payday. I had a really good, blessed 2023, and I can't be mad at that. So when I think about the positives, glass half full, it could always be worse. Could have made way less money. Could have had way less opportunities. And
could have never been a world champ. There's like
a
million things. Look, one little decision could have changed everything. And again, if you're an aspiring fighter, I mean, you should be able to listen to this stuff and be able to take something. If you're ever lucky, whatever, whatever, to get into that position, you should be able to listen to this stuff and be like, okay, like, let me think what I've heard from other people in the same position and hopefully make a similar decision.
Wizard Seizure said, your post-fight interview after the jiu-jitsu match about the dude starting on his back was kind of hypocritical considering you do the knee down stall in MMA.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So the knee down stall, it's not that I'm going into the fight and as soon as the fight starts, I'm taking a knee and stalling the fight. That would be silly. Now, if I take a shot and my opponent stuffs the shot and decides to leave me on my knee and then look at the ref, that's not my fault. You have A, you could punch me. A, front headlock. B, C, snap down and go behind. Or 3, you could just let me up and then restart the position. Or you can even step to the side. 4, 5, you could step to the side and kick me to the body. There's multiple options that you could do for attacks in that position. Whenever I shoot and I get in that position, I actually hate being down there because I feel so vulnerable. But the fact that none of these guys capitalize on it, it's not my fault. I know people say we should bring knees to the head of a downed opponent. Yeah, that would change everything. Guess what? I won't take shots that I know I won't get. And if I do take the shot that I won't get, then I pull guard from that position versus staying there and trying to get up safely. So if you stuff my head and say that I can't see where I'm going, for me to just stand up ignorantly and pretend I'm just going to get up safely like there's no danger, it's rather uneducated and very silly and very dangerous if you're in an MMA fight for a contract, for a payout, for a win and show money. It's very ridiculous for anyone to sit there and say, you should just get up and not do that. Well, if I shoot, use the position to your advantage. To start the match and sit to your butt is completely different than taking a bad shot, 1, and then 2, if you take a good shot and the opponent stuffs it and you just sit there against an Olympic champion level wrestler who gets there against an inferior wrestler, I take a bad shot. Why aren't you scoring from that opportunity? Even Mighty Mouse said the same thing. He was mad at Henry that Henry didn't try to spin behind and throw punches.
Right.
I was gonna say,
so how is that my fault?
I feel like that was like the obvious thing.
Well, not only that, but like I don't know if you guys watched the Demetrius Johnson when he interviewed ALJO. First of all, fucking phenomenal, like actually hilarious.
I did a podcast with
yeah.
Mighty Mouse, and we talked about the same exact.
No, they're talking about this exact situation. I don't know why it's so fucking funny to me, but it's like at one point, like ALJO's like, yeah, you were kind of attacking me for the whole going one knee down and then getting kneed, and then a couple weeks later, like you're in that position. I was like, oh, all right, that's what happens when you get up real quick, I was like, all right, like as terrible as that is to say, like it's actually 100%. Like, dude, if you've ever been in a fight and you're trying to get up real quick, yeah, people are gonna body you, bro. Like I'm telling you, you've been like I've done it to myself too. Like I'm looking back, I'm trying to get up real quick, and I'm eating punches on the way up. I'm like, okay. If I was a little bit more patient, I could have just like waited in that position,
tied the hands up,
tried to wrestle a little bit,
see where you can actually go,
versus trying to sprint my way up just frantically, and I'm eating punches on my way up the whole time. It's like, all right, that wasn't really well.
No, because you're a fucking warrior, bro. That's badass the way you got up like that and got punched.
No, exactly. Okay, in retrospect, you're like, damn, that was kind of stupid. Like I could have just played the game, been a little smarter, and you could have just avoided damage, But people. It is what it is.
You don't know what you don't know.
That's it.
So
that's fair. And again,
I respect. It's a legit question, but I just think you don't know what you don't know until you get in there. You actually try those positions, and when you're playing for keeps, meaning no knee pads, no shin guards, and the guy's actually trying to separate you from your consciousness, I guarantee you won't get up like that. Or maybe you do, and maybe your lights are out completely, and you're waiting at the doctor while he's waving the flashlight in front of your eyes, asking, "Do you know where you are?"
And also, again, Cejudo, like in retrospect, Cejudo should be able to wrestle his ass off. Like the guy's been in a front headlock, or guy's been put people in front headlocks his whole life. Like guy didn't fucking shuck him by. Guy didn't even try to do anything. He didn't try to take his back. He didn't go for a fucking magic stick, something dope. I don't know. Like could have done anything.
Bro, how many times do you and I spar?
Oh,
and
the
if
worst.
Steve takes a bad shot or whatever, and he hasn't been in a position. I'm looking to attack over the position where I'm attacking the body,
this
trying
guy
to
will
cut an
scum
angle.
me if I shoot a takedown horribly. It's terrible. You do not want to miss a takedown against the guy that knows what he's doing in those positions. I promise. Like
that's it, and it's not glazing. It's just actually knowing what the fuck we're talking
against
about.
anybody, by the way, against anyone good in those positions. Like Aljo's brother Troy's a good wrestler. Like I shoot a bad takedown, I'm getting skunked. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you just unless you wrestle someone that's like solid and you're in those positions a million times, it's not fun.
Ryan said, "Big fan. Which of these dream matchups do you think would be the toughest fight, and which would you like the most?" So I assume he's saying you versus Mighty Mouse, you versus Volk, you versus Holloway, or you versus Aldo. Which is the toughest fight? And which fight would you like to have the most?
I gotta say the toughest fight would have to be Volkanovski.
You think so?
Yeah, because I mean, if he did what he did, I mean, you can't do MMA math, but if he did what he did to Holloway, who is one of the most savage guys out there, then it's kind of like, well, then damn. I got my work cut out for me. Although he's a bigger frame guy, it's a little bit different. We fight very, very differently. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine Volk would be the toughest one out of all of them. I think Aldo's tough, but he has shown in history that he gets tired the later the fight goes, the longer the fight goes, slows down a bit. We've seen that time and time again with him. But he was still very dominant. And he got Mighty Mouse, cardio machine. But I think the challenge of that would have been interesting to see how I could deal with the footwork and the speed and his clinch. He swears, he's like, you accept the clinch? I think I would eat you up in the clinch. I'm like, bro, I think I'm pretty damn good in the clinch too. But if you feel that way, like we can find out. We can drill and find out and see who touches up who more.
Actually,
kind of give each other like a good gauge. Like, I respect it. All right.
No, actually, I'd love to watch that. Honestly, if you guys just even did that, phenomenal. Just like just to see who could out, because I think that's fucking awesome. Really.
Put some knee pads on, some elbow pads.
To see what you guys think. That'd be awesome.
To see pull. I just feel like I would be able to sweep him off balance. So just because he's just a little bit. Dude, I'm about 100. And this morning I was 166 after the grappling match. But I walk around 170, 173 when I'm not training. Or when I'm training, I'm about 170.
Maybe like 150 something, maybe 160 if he's like ballooned up.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not like I got a good wrestling base.
Yeah.
He's got a good wrestling base. It's just like we would both cancel each other out on that. But I think the deciding factor would be the weight.
Yeah.
Like the weight behind my knees, the weight behind my elbows, the weight behind me leaning on him, pulling and tugging his head everywhere.
No, I think that's more than fair to say. And again, that's what he always had trouble with when he was fighting.
Yeah, and he said it. He's just like, but it would be, that's the challenge.
100%. I love that. As a champion, that's what you want to see.
That's what you want to see from guys who got the belt. Not guys that are like, yo, I want to sit out for 10, 11 months and then try to fight you after you just came off a 5-round fight.
I don't know who you're talking about, but that guy.
But no one does that. No one does that.
No.
I know. Okay, again, as a fan too, I will say at the time when Aldo first came down to bantamweight, I was like, Aljo better not take that fight. That's a fucking tough fight, bro. Like at the time, I was like, fuck me. The guy's got lights out at the time again. Lights out takedown defense. If it's only a 3-rounder, I'm like, oh no.
I'm just saying. They said that about Henry Burrell.
That's fair. All right, that's fair.
Took that ass down.
We got a bunch of super chats, so let's figure it up a little.
All right.
Do you think Topuria has a shot against Volk?
100%.
Yeah, I think Topuria definitely has a shot against Volkanovski. He's got a great punch of shins. I watched the fight over with Josh Emmett, and it wasn't as one-sided as I thought, but he just landed the crisper shots, which kind of he wore it a little bit more. He's very pale and pasty.
That's true too.
He wears the damage a little bit more than most men. But Topuria landed some mean shots, and the ones that were clean were freaking nasty. And there was one part in the 5th round where Emmett just came after him.
Yeah.
And Rob and I were talking. He was like, well, there was a difference between rounds 4 and 5. The ref gave him a little bit more time to recover because they were like wiping the sweat off or checking his eye. One of the two, he said. But he had more time in between to recover. And he said that's when he came out and started going crazy with a little bit more pop in his punches. And that's when he caught him, I think, with a grazing left hook. And Topuria kind of went backwards, and then almost right away he shot in for the takedown.
I was gonna say too.
Smart.
Also, first of all,
I'm Topuria. I'm doing that shit too.
Dude,
but
you're up 4 rounds.
Yeah.
And again, I will say, if for Emmett, like you gotta respect that you're down 4 rounds. Like that's the only thing you can't do. Like I gotta put this guy out. Like you see a lot of guys, they're down 2 or 3 or 2 or 4, whatever, depending on the fight, and they're willing to cruise. Like you gotta give Emmett all the credit in the world for just getting battered for 4.
At least I didn't get finished.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, whatever that means.
That's like the safety net. Like, at least I didn't get finished. It was like when you lost.
Yeah, like unfortunately, Nelson L. Yeah.
Like Korean Zombie, when he went out there, like, he was like, "Yo, I'm losing this fight. Round 3, I'm burning the boats."
That's our guy forever. All right, for that alone, he went for it.
Zombie.
That's beautiful. That was the best moment of 2023 for me.
Yeah, that was sad.
That was sad.
Parker Porker
Parker Porker.
This is his
Parker Porker.
fifth donation during one of your live streams.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Parker,
my
even
man.
better.
Shout out
Thank
to
you, bro.
Parker. Thoughts on the UFC giving you a shitty card in Boston with a women's MMA coming
Hey, yo.
when they finally let
Let's
finally
go.
let you headline.
Uh,
Soy Boy Sugar gets an insane card at $2.99.
Yo, Parker's the
Nah,
man. Let's
nah,
go.
Call it how you see it. Listen, I'm not nothing against the girls at all, but they really didn't do us a lot of favors in terms of upping the value. Like
Who was the co-main for that?
Whaley.
Whaley and
Lemos.
Amanda Lemos.
All right, well they like
It was a
they
great
like
fight,
Whaley.
though.
That was a
They
good
like
fight.
Whaley.
No,
Yeah.
Whaley's
I'm not
dope.
saying anything about
The fans
that.
love
But
it.
it wasn't a fight that I knew was going to add to the pay-per-view, drawing more buys.
Well, yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
No. Look at this.
But now we got Sugar Show and they're stacking the
Oh,
card.
no, they
And then they go back, oh, he drew all this attention. And I was like, oh my God.
yeah, but they're
Give me
giving
a
him the
fucking
biggest,
break.
most stacked card in Miami.
Good for him though. I am glad Sean O'Malley's making a ton of money. I hope he makes a ton of money in this pay-per-view. First title defense against Cheeto. I hope it's gonna be a great card. I hope all the fights stay on this. I want to see all the fighters get paid out the ass, especially the good ones. I would just like to see it a little bit more fair across the board. Where
Consistently.
if you're gonna put, like, even Mighty Mouse struggled to get pay-per-view buys, but the cards he was always on.
I mean,
I
the
mean,
only
it was
one I
never
remember
like-
they ever, the only part I can remember they ever put somebody like a big name value on was the McGregor. Like McGregor was on like the co-main against Dustin Poirier against one of DJ's cards. But aside from
Yeah.
that, like I don't really, they never really did him favors.
They
with
could have
that
given him a
stuff.
John Jones for one of the
that's-
John
that's
Jones
what-
title defenses.
They
One
might,
of them.
they might have done one of them. Like he was the DJ
We have to
was the
verify this, but I don't think so.
I think he was 197.
I thought they put him on a lot of cards that weren't pay-per-views.
No, they did for like they was just
Yeah.
trying to get his popularity up with the home, the household name aspect of it with I think Fox, and it just never really worked out. It was
No.
just never like
But again, I get it.
people just don't like the smaller guys.
I don't know.
I
Look,
wouldn't, you
I
know,
get it. I understand, but like, come on, Demetrius Johnson was fucking phenomenal. Like the guy was so fun. But I wish.
Yeah, he was. He fought Henrietta Jones versus St. Preux.
Yeah,
card.
was that
So
197?
that's when John
That
Jones came
was-
back.
That was 197.
I would imagine
Wow,
he-
Steve.
He had to do well. He had to do well on that. Then.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to do pretty
I
well.
would hope so. Yeah.
Because John Jones, even if it's not like a million buys, John Jones does pretty well.
Yeah, of course.
I would say at least 500
Like
on
he
that.
generally was always something like that. Again,
Yeah.
that was back when the pay-per-view numbers were actually released. But
And DC was supposed to fight him. I think he got hurt.
injured. Yeah.
So whatever. It is what it is.
Who-
We're probably gonna have to wrap soon because
So we got three
gotta
more
get
super
ready to
chats.
go.
We'll do quick
Party.
super
Three
chats.
more super chats. Real quick, did O'Malley surprise you? Did you underestimate him?
O'Malley, did he surprise me?
You
I
wouldn't
don't.
underestimate him.
No, I don't think he surprised me. I already knew. Like I've been singing his
I
praises
think-
for like the longest.
I
how
think
good he is.
nobody estimated how good he would be as much as you did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
how about this?
like, everyone was telling
Did
you
you
how bad
anticipate
it
his
was.
footwork in the moment being as good as it was? How about that?
No, you know what it was? The footwork of how good I thought it was. It was just a lot better than the looks that I was able to get in the gym.
Okay, that's fair.
So it was kind of like,
That's fair.
yeah, this is a lot better than what I got when I was in my sparring sessions.
Alright.
And the guys that I went with were pretty good. The Bashford brothers,
Yeah, I got
Julian
you.
Rosa, Dennis
But no, the
Bazooka.
guy definitely has solid footwork. no
Yeah,
question.
he's just a fast, twitchy,
Basketball.
yeah, out spin, pivot, and he's gone. Very like a basketball-esque, quick agility, and I think that's a different look that you need specific people to do that. I never underestimate anybody. The last time I did that was Marlon Moraes. I didn't underestimate Sean at any point. If anything, I was overly worried about him and what he brought to the table. It was my management. It was my coaches and teammates that probably thought that they thought very highly of me, and I think they put my skill set more on a pedestal than how good O'Malley actually was in real time, and didn't really think that I would have trouble with him. Where I was the only one, kind of like, am I the only one in this room that thinks I'm going to have an issue? Like, hello, is this thing on? Anyone listening?
Yeah.
Hey guys, this guy's pretty damn good. I need a little bit more help. Not so respectfully.
No, I
obviously.
think you're pretty right on that. I thought at the time too. Again, I'll say it from my
It's
perspective.
like you just gotta grab him.
No, I thought at some point I'm like, I was just gonna fucking put this little fucking fruitcake on the wall and just put him down when he needs to. And again, I look when you actually break it down, you gotta break it down like the correct way. Like, okay, how's he gonna do that? How's he, A, B, C, whatever.
Yeah.
But like again, when you're doing well, you're just like, this motherfucker's he's gonna do what he's doing. Like it's almost like you're almost a victim of your own success. Where you're thinking like, oh, this guy, he's just gonna do what he already did. He'll put him down. He'll put him against whatever. But no, yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, and nothing against my coaches or anybody like that. They all, like I said, they all thought more highly of I think my abilities versus his, but I think at the end of the day,
But
as an athlete, being in the mix, I wasn't drinking my own Kool-Aid, and I knew what I had in front of me. I was just like, I just hope what I had to prepare was going to be enough.
yeah, well, again, the circumstances
And the
weren't
circumstances,
ideal.
yeah.
What new tricks is Coach Longo teaching you these days? Your wrestling is world class, but if you got better striking, you could beat Volk or Max. That's from Siddharth Palhan. That's his third donation to you.
Hey,
Thank you, Sadaf. I want to say we're working on a bunch of new tricks. It's just more so getting comfortable at the weight class, sitting down on the punches.
it was definitely cracking. Fucking hit me the other day. That was pretty tough.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Not that, I mean, again, it's not like I'm not fucking
Not
Calvin
Tito
Cater. What's up? Never. But no, he as long as he sits down. No, it's fucking.
I felt bad. I was like, yo, my
Oh no, he
That's
apologized.
never happened.
Well, first of all, I just never thought he was gonna sit down on a punch. Respectfully, I was just like, this man's never done it yet. Like, and then for the first time in 8 years, he's like, I'm gonna fucking hammer this right hand. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't think he was gonna do that. I was almost like, Jesus, bro, calm down. Like, that's crazy. Like,
That's
It was
crazy.
like that right into a takedown.
that's the part that killed him. Like, oh, he put me down. It's disrespectful.
We were talking.
Honestly, it's like the Marab special. Like the fucking, he loads up that right hand with all of his might. So if you don't defend it, you're in trouble. And if you don't defend it, you're gonna fucking just eat it. And if you do defend it, he's in on your hip. So I was just like, unfortunately, I didn't defend it, and he was in on my hip. So that was the ultimate whammy.
Yeah, it was. And I said beforehand, I was like, yeah, I got some new tricks I've been working on.
I was like,
I was
no
like,
way.
so I'm gonna.
But his new tricks were just actually hitting hard. Like, that's not a new trick. He just decided, like, I'm gonna
I did
fucking
a couple of stuff.
whatever.
His new
Just
trick
planted
is
his
not
feet.
being afraid of breaking the
I'm
hand.
trying to fucking sit down. Again, I'm not saying that's like the ideal game plan against the Calvin Cater, but if the guy fucking opens up the opportunity where fucking Aljo can crack him, that'd be crazy not to either. So
Cy Guzman said, Aljo, wishing you a positive and healthy 2024.
hey,
Feliz
too, my brother.
Año Nuevo. Saludos. Mucho
Feliz
amor.
Año Nuevo. Let's go.
Hey.
all right, was that it?
All right,
Jake?
let's wrap it up. Yeah.
All right.
That was. Oh, thank you. That's it. I thought you were gonna say something else.
No, that was it. Just wanted to pay you to tell you Happy New Year.
Thank you, brother. Happy New Year's to you and your family. Hey, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the last podcast of the year, the Weekly Scraps. We've been rocking and rolling since 2019. Let's keep this gravy train going.
Let's go, baby. Going strong.
And that's it, man. All I can say is stay safe, be blessed, continue to work on those goals. New Year's resolution, try to keep them as long as you can. Write those goals down, speak them into existence, into the universe, because that's how good things happen. And with that said, stay blessed. Don't drink too much. And definitely don't drink and drive, you mo. Get a goddamn Uber.
I'm drinking too much.
What?
Don't.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive.
Happy 2023. Have a good 2024 guys.
Oh, it's like
What's
it's 2024.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, hope everyone had a great 2023. Have a better 2024. Let's get it, guys. Come on.
See you guys in
Peace
Queens.
out. Keelan.
We're going to Queens tonight.
All right, how do I
Peace.
end this?
It's over there.
That's pretty cool.
Damn, last podcast of the year.
That's sick.
Woo!
And people just pay you money randomly? What is this? Oh, sorry about that. That's wild.